last we left our intrepid adventurers, we had just broken out of prison.
By beating up the guards, putting on their uniforms, and tricking the other guards into saying you were chasing the escaped prisoners.
Which is so lame, I must point out.
And awesome.
Incredibly cliche.
And awesome.
I opposed this, but it worked. So we did that. We got out. And the point of getting out, Croesus had run off. He was going to go attend that memorial service for the hobgoblin. And the other thing we wanted to go see General Miss Anderson because she had our diplomatic package that we were supposed to deliver. And also possibly she would know what the heck is going on with these ridiculous charges we were up on.
You did. You missed last session. They got arrested. But
as soon as we got out of the sewers. So, I'm trying to remember, what did we do first? Did we head out to
you went to the
memorial?
service because that's where Croesus was.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, we went out to the memorial service.
The service was outside the city, so they had a special thing where the gates of the city were open. So it was their perfect chance to just escape without anyone batting an eye. So they did go out of the city to the memorial service.
I might note, I never actually even really thought of that. It didn't occur to me that, we're outside the city. We could just keep going.
Yeah. So the memorial service, one of the elders gave a big speech about how, I don't remember the Albin's name, but how, it was a big deal, funeral much bigger than Oblin usually do, and how it was, such a tragic loss of such and such Oblin. I forget his name. I think it was like Jardin or something.
Yeah.
And then, which was different than the Hobgoblin's own name for himself.
Yeah.
And and he talked about that, and then they commended his body to the ground because they returned the waystones to the ground. But then they took out one of those same kind of black red crystals that Serendipity had found in the other hobgoblin, and said, and now we will destroy this foul goblin heart through this ritual. And they did this ritual where they destroyed it and then threw it into the chasm. And all this took hours.
Yeah. And we were looking through the crowd trying to find Croesus. You went up to give a speech afterwards. I don't think we found him before that, though, did we?
No, he went, at the end he went up to give a speech.
And that's when we saw him.
But the elder actually, he came and talked to the elder because he wanted to tell the elder. What did he want to tell him? Something about the hobgoblin. Oh, because there were more of them down there.
Yeah.
And the elder said, "Wait, you're the Oblin who was denied his parole, weren't you?" And Croesus said, "Yeah." And he said, "That is unacceptable. We have a treaty. They cannot deny the Oblin parole. I will be having words with the people who have done this." Yeah. And he asked her. I think by then the party had arrived there. And he said, "Well, who did it? Who gave this order?" Someone named General Miss Anderson. I will be having words with her. This will not stand. Yeah. And the elder was very upset that parole was denied, and he also said he would send Oblin into the sewers to eradicate the goblin, and they would be careful because the goblin were trying to kidnap Oblin too. Yeah. So.
Dun dun dun, and the plot thickens.
So at this point, we were totally amazed and taken by the fact that here was an NPC that was reasonable and had some kind of influence. Wonderful combination. So, we immediately decided we work for you now. We like this guy a lot. So, yeah, that will come in important later. After that,
I think Aurora gave a speech or tried to give a speech. They were hesitant. an oblin walks on the stage, and they're like, yeah, whatever, random oblin walks on the stage, they can give a speech because
He's probably
they're
got a
oblin,
good
they're
reason.
trustworthy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But Aurora walks on stage, and they're like, whoa, we can't have random speeches on the stage. And I think they just ended up talking with the elder.
Yeah.
But she was up on stage. The whole party was up on stage in front of everyone. And surprise! Some guards started to notice. Hey, there's the escaped fugitives up on stage at the giant funeral. So some guards started to make their way through the crowd. But the party did a pretty good job of losing themselves in the crowd.
Yeah.
And they went with the funeral procession back into the city. So they weren't. They were able to evade the guards yet again.
After which, Croesus went straight back to prison, right?
Yep.
Because that's what the whole parole thing is for. Just for the...
He was on parole. He
Yep.
gave his word, so he went back to prison.
Yep. The rest of the party didn't. Not right away. We had to go and have a talk with General Miss Anderson, find out just what the heck is going on. And, we were somewhat concerned now because
they'd given her the box for safekeeping, specifically because they trusted her.
Yep.
And when they came out of the sewers and got arrested, she said, just play along with it. I'll take care of it, and then did the wink
wink thing.
wink, and and they made their checks, and they're like, well, she's on your side, but she's very bad at bluffing that she's helping the guards. So then they went along with it right away. So she had convinced them to kind of go along with the guards, with her terrible bluff that she was helping. You know what I mean? Like she was saying she was helping them, but she was bluffing that she wasn't helping them. But perhaps she was bluffing that whole thing.
Double bluff, possibly. There's other possibilities as well. So we head to where her office is. It's a guard post. We're wanted fugitives. Let's go to the guard post. We're still dressed as guards. It's all right.
There's way more guards posted outside the door than there was last time. Like last time there was a couple guys around, but there's 6 guards just standing at her door. Like she has an office off the barracks, and so the entrance that's closest to her door has a whole ton of guards.
So I'm trying to remember now.
You guys were discussing what to do.
Yeah.
When Hank just strides forward.
Yep, that was right. Hank went.
And it's just I gotta go. I've got an urgent message for the general involving the escape. No, I don't think it was even the escape of futures. I've got an urgent message for the general, her eyes only.
Yeah.
And he makes his bluff, and the guards go for it.
They let him in.
He just strides right past them, strides to the secretary. I've got an urgent message for General Miss Anderson, her eyes only. Makes his bluff check. And Hank doesn't really have much of a bluff, but just...
He rolled really well.
And so she goes in. The general says, "Okay, I'll see you." Hank goes into the general's office, and she says, "Okay, I hear you have a message for it." She looks up, "You," and immediately she I don't think she even she said she starts saying, "The escaped fugitive, he's here in our office, guards!"
At which point Hank
locks the door and bars it with a chair. At which point the general, seeing that the door is locked, grabs a staff from behind her desk and just fireball, or is it?
It was lightning.
Lightning's.
Lightning? No.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was lightning.
yeah, it was lightning,
lightnings the crap out of Hank, takes him down to bloodied in one hit, and just leaves him as a singed mass on the ground.
Well, he wasn't on the ground.
He wasn't unconscious, but he was just...
Because he immediately turned on her and hit her with his hammer for massive damage. He critted on a daily. Life-ending strike. And did massive damage. Didn't take her to bloodied, but still. It was 60-something, 70?
Something like that. He did more damage than she did.
Yeah.
Which was impressive.
Yeah. At this point, we hear outside that combat is ensuing.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, how is Hank not going to die? He's made pains to trap himself in the room with the general, and she, one hit bloodied him.
So we rush up to the door, and let's see, how did it go? I remember I bluffed the guards. I told the guards I could pick the lock on the door.
That was before combat ensued.
Yeah,
So you were delaying.
Because Hank was in there talking with her, and we wanted to give him time to talk with her. So I wanted to delay everyone else from getting in. So I convinced the guards that I could pick the lock, and then I probably could because I'm pretty good at that. But I went in there and just fumbled around to delay. And then when everything went crazy in there, there was lightning and explosions. Then I needed to actually open the door. So let's see, how'd that go? We smashed the door down or something like that? It was...
The guards all... And once
Yeah,
there was
that's
combat,
right.
they
Yeah.
decided, well, they got to break the chair off anyway.
Yeah.
So the guards all put their backs into it.
Yeah, we
And while it was-
had the guards help.
While that was happening, there was another round of combat. And the general cast, I think it was a fire thing. That was when she just torched Hank, and he... right,
He went down.
He went down. She took him down. So he was laying as a smoldering body on the ground, and then the party breaks in, and the general is standing there with her sword in Hank's chest, leaning on her sword. Don't worry, I took care of him. Mm-hmm. And that's when they burst into the room.
Right.
And
So I think Cricket was in first because she was right at the door. And first thing I did was Timeless Trek of Mithrindain, General Miss Anderson, which, even if it doesn't hit, which it didn't, doesn't matter, she's gone. She disappears for at least a round. Mm-hmm. She disappears, save ends. It's a very interesting power. Mm-hmm. And then I, majestic word Hank, bring him back online. And so he wakes up and sees that General Miss Anderson, if that is her real name, she's not a magic user. She shouldn't be a magic user.
Mm-hmm. She's not known for being a magic user. She's a fighter.
So after she'd taken down Hank and then the guards burst in, she had dropped the staff on the floor behind the desk
where it couldn't be seen.
and had the sword. So when I timeless trekked her staff was left behind. So he grabbed the staff. Hank did. And picked it up to snap it over his knee. And Serendipity then goes to Malort is out in the hallway. And she's like, no! It's so valuable.
Doesn't she already have level 15 staff?
Yeah, and this could well be another one.
What is...
That's
like a salad thing.
Dual
You
wield
can fight it.
staves or
You can love
something. So anyway, Hank snaps the staff over his knee, and an explosion ensues. Huge explosion. But fortunately, Hank was within 2 squares of Cricket, so Cricket did Guardian's counter and dove onto the grenade. And blocked the explosion from hitting Hank. It wouldn't have hit Cricket otherwise. Otherwise, I couldn't have used Guardian's Intercession because it was a burst 1, and Cricket was 2 squares away. So, So Cricket took the blast for Hank.
And there was a big frost explosion. And of course, Serendipity has a fire sword, so when the staff explodes in frost, she's like, no, my frost staff!
Could have dual wielded. Or something. Anyway. And everyone else pours into the room through various tricks and techniques. Even Serendipity, I think, came in.
More or less by the end, because she used that magical treasure thing to make all the guards.
That's right. And then everyone...
Pretty much all the guards left them alone.
Yeah, all the guards back off. The rest of the party piles into the office, and then we re-bar the door. So,
But the door, it's important to note, actually the door was open and closed several times by now. But the door was blown up its hinges, so it's sort of like... It's like
there's a bit of a mess.
It's broken, so you can close the door, but you can still see through the closed door, which became important.
So they get inside, and we push the desk up against the door because it's not going to stay shut otherwise. And then General Miss Anderson reappears. Now that we're all trapped in the room with her.
And that changes things quite a bit, because it's not just Hank.
Yep, suddenly the whole party is in there with her.
And your staff is gone.
And her staff is gone.
So she tries to negotiate. She says, okay, we don't need to fight. I'll make it so that there's no problem. You guys can leave town, and no one will ask any questions, and we'll be done with each other. At which point Hank replied with his sword, with his hammer, I believe.
No, didn't we notice on her desk, or is this later, the note we found on her desk?
That was while she was gone.
Yeah,
There was a note that she was like halfway done writing, basically saying that these guys are wanted criminals, are armed and dangerous, kill on sight.
Yeah. And so,
None of it is wrong.
What's that?
None of it is wrong.
well, it's not in accordance with the law. So, anyway, so we knew that, she wanted us dead. She wanted us out of the picture. So this little promise of hers was not very reassuring. So yeah, Hank hit her with the hammer as a response.
Yeah, it knocked her prone, and I thought that was going to be a serious problem for her, because the party unloaded on her, I think, and she got.
Yeah.
She was I think they bloodied her. Or it was close, anyway.
We readied a bunch of actions when she started.
Oh, right,
when she
they
tried
readied
negotiating. When she tried negotiating, we all readied actions to hit her.
Right, but only Hank actually hit her. She was knocked prone.
Yeah.
But then I realized that I was thinking, oh, she's knocked prone. Shoot, she can't do what she's gonna want to do because the desk is blocking her view. But then I realized, wait, they pushed the desk against the door. She has a clear view out the door, so she cast a spell where she traded places with a guard outside the door, and then bolted down the hallway shouting, "Guards, guards, guards!" And the ready actions did all go off on her first.
Yeah.
But I think they just barely bloodied her, and then she was out of there.
So we did bloody her, and then she ran away. And now there's this mook guard in the room with us, and he's all like, ah!
I remember something funny from the negotiation. Several times Serendipity would be like, so you're gonna help us, eh? Wink. Just like she did her terrible wink.
Yep.
Yeah, they were not too impressed with her.
Yeah. So that was unfortunate. Now we're still trapped in this room, and all the guards are outside except this one cowering wreck inside with us. So we decide, well, we're not going to catch up with General Miss Anderson because she's got a head start and there's all this stuff in the way.
When she ran towards the barracks, which is full of soldiers.
Yeah, so we're going to let her go. And so we decide to escape the office via its window. So we go out the window, and we leg it to get away from the, we grab everything in the desk. And then we head out. And now we're back out, fugitives in the city. And we now know...
Process is still in prison.
Oh yeah, he went back to prison and he's just sitting there in prison. And so we're trying to figure out what do we do next. We can't trust the guard. We can't, because they've been compromised at the high level with General Miss Anderson. She's trying to get us killed. She wants to cover it all up. Who do we go to? What NPC might be helpful and reasonable?
That elder guy.
Of course. So we go to talk with the Oblin Elder. And we managed to talk our way in. I remember we were chatting with that guard outside, that Oblin guard. Oh yeah, there was a suspicious-looking Oblin outside, which is very peculiar in its own right. Oblin generally don't act suspicious.
Is General Miss Anderson an Oblin?
No,
She's
mongrel.
a mongrel.
So we get inside to talk with the Oblin Elder, and we basically just tell him everything. We had this stupid quest. We did this thing, Stanley switcheroo. He stole it from us. General Miss Anderson, blah blah blah. We think maybe General Miss Anderson's been replaced by an imposter, possibly because she's a wizard now, etc. And the end result of all this is that an Oblin has been unjustly imprisoned.
And also there's perversion of justice everywhere.
Yeah.
The elder is just absolutely incensed.
Yeah.
It's like, this is unacceptable. I will fight this to the top. I will see the marshal. I will break the treaty over this.
So we ask for Oblin Guard escort to go back to prison at this point.
Why do you want to go back to prison?
Because we're wanted fugitives. We don't want to be wanted fugitives. It's dangerous. Also, that's where Croesus is.
And I guess it helps their case, given that, like, basically, they've got someone fighting for them saying, this is wrong. So if they go back to prison...
Yep. The only reason we broke out is because this was all horribly unjust and there was already crimes being committed against us. That sort of thing. So, but we want Oblin Guards because there's possibly this order to have us killed on sight out there. So the Elder gives us an escort that take us back to prison. And so we arrive back at the prison, and there's all the guards we beat up.
And they're probably very happy.
They're a little grumbly.
Sorry.
Yep. Hank apologized.
My bad.
It was funny
Yeah, there was a
when
few
we
different
broke out.
ones.
When we broke out, the way it all snowballed was that Hank reached through the talking slot or whatever in the door and grabbed the guard and was slamming him against the door. That was how it all started. So that guard was here, all bruised and stuff. And so Hank went to apologize to him personally and shook his hand. And when he shook his hand, we were all expecting start pounding
Can't
him.
hold his fist out.
He was like, fooled you again. Yeah.
And some of the guards that were... I only did this because I think it was Brian mentioned that it would never work, that they're putting the guards in our clothes and putting them in the prison cell.
Yeah.
And I agree that it's not very plausible to work, but mainly because Brian said it would never work. They're like, yeah, and we were trapped in that cell for 3 hours before they believed that they believed we were the guards.
Spite.
Yeah.
Get you more bread.
And so there was Croesus, and we reunited.
There's only one piece, and I don't think we need more.
No, okay.
I'll eat that piece if no one wants it. Then.
So yeah, we reunited with Croesus. Serendipity went back to her private cell.
No, I think she was with you.
No, I thought she went back to it because I was going to give her cards and stuff.
Maybe. Could be.
I mean, we're not diseased anymore, but she may still not want to be in the same cell as us just because. I don't know.
It's true. There isn't a lot of privacy for the washroom.
Yeah.
One thing they also found out from the guards, because they asked about Benson, who something bad had happened to. He was the guard they talked to last time.
Yeah.
Apparently, Benson was being indefinitely suspended without pay because he was the one who blew the whistle. He was told you can't let them out, and there was all these rules that were against the normal rule, and so he went and blew the whistle to the Oblin elders, and so he's the one who got the whole ball rolling and got the general in trouble, and so he got suspended without pay for 3 weeks. Well,
So-
he may lose his job, but for now he's suspended without pay.
So we gave some money for Benson, to
3 weeks
tide
worth
him
of
over.
pay.
Oh, you guys are nice criminals.
Well, he was a nice guard. A+ would be incarcerated again.
Yeah.
Only one plus.
Well, it's still we're prisoners there, It's, I think any pluses is definitely unusual for a prison. Anyway,
You can get ratings for prisons on Yelp and things like that.
What?
Yeah. You want to go to prison? Go to this prison.
Yeah, it's like, I could commit a crime here, but this prison is so much better.
Yeah.
so anyway, there was one other thing. Let's see. Oh yes, we heard afterwards.
What happened the next day, you mean?
Yes. Apparently the what's the name? Marshal? The Marshal is
The marshal is like the head of all the army in Greybridge.
He's the top dog.
Yeah, the guards got a letter saying to release the captives. Their charges have been dropped, and so that's all he told them at first. But there was actually more information on the letter that was sort of upsetting to him, and they were able to get out of him what it said because whatever. There was no reason to keep it a secret.
Apparently, General Miss Anderson and the Marshal had a little fight, and General Miss Anderson was dead. Yeah.
She attacked the marshal, and she's dead now.
Yep.
Oh, that's convenient. Sweet.
Is it the real Miss Anderson that died, or was it?
I don't know. Well, I don't think the real one would attack him, but
No,
I don't know. It's hard to say.
One could maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Might
Well,
you can-
unfortunately, it kind of leaves us now at a bit of loose end. We want to find that diplomatic package again.
That goddamn diplomatic
Yep.
package. The worst quest you've ever accepted.
I've been on record this whole time. I opposed this quest. It was stupid. But we're in it now. So anyway, that's our next goal. We're going to have to start all over again the sleuthing around to try and find out where that thing's stashed. We'll probably have to go through Miss Anderson's stuff, see if she's left any clues. Maybe we can find the original or whatever. Hard to say.
Maybe she opened the diplomatic package and it turned her into an evil wizard.
Oh.
Maybe that's why you weren't supposed to open it.
Maybe the package contained an evil wizard. That would be exactly like General Miss Anderson.
Right.
Ah.
And you're actually assassins. And when you deliver the diplomatic package, the wizard was supposed to kill the person who intended it. I think we got it.
Okay. Well, either way, we got to find that box. I sending to the guy that sent us. I can't remember his name.
Kylenar?
Kalinar. Jirago. Yeah.
Yeah, Zerago, yeah.
Anyway, I sending him with an update on how things were going. He loves getting news from us.
His response to the sending was just like, "You guys are the most incompetent idiots I've ever dealt with. I wish I had never hired you." That was his
Yep.
response.
And I was like, yeah, well, you hired us. Takes one to know one. Anyway.
You're the most incompetent employer we've
Yep.
ever been hired by.
Yeah.
We wish you never would have hired us.
Yep. Pretty much. It was stupid of him to hire us in the first place.
Now I'm imagining a Dylan Band sending.
That'll be really expensive, yeah. 25 words per.
I mean, a lot of it falls on that guy's shoulders, right? Like, he didn't give you the proper instructions.
Yeah.
He didn't tell you about this cave where you were supposed to go
Yeah.
and, like, the dangers therein.
I mean, everything we did on this quest has been pretty reasonable, I think.
It's just been bunged up by other people's incompetence. So that's about where you ended?
Yep.
What, investigation
Yep,
looming?
we're gonna start investigating. I had forgotten that we were actually out of prison. I thought we were still in there.
Or we sort of left it, you just found out that you're free to go.
Yeah.
But you hadn't actually walked with the door yet. At least we didn't say you
Maybe
walked with
we
the door
should
yet.
stay.
There's plenty of time for the guards to change their mind and lock you
Yeah.
up again.
Yeah, Stockholm Syndrome sets in. Like, these guards are pretty nice guys.
Well, they
We
are.
do a good thing going here.
And anytime we need to leave, we could beat them up.
That's right.
I just need to go return my video.
Cricket realizes her future has always been in guarding. She decides to try and take up the cloth and become a guard. She leaves the group. Because as a guard, she can totally die for her other guardsmen, who are always getting beat up.
Town guard doesn't own her. Party owns her. So she can't go.
But if the party's imprisoned by the town guard, doesn't that mean the town guard owns them and thus by
She's been impounded, but she's not.
is it commutative?
What
Commutativity?
you do is you should put a bail on the party, and they pay with cricket.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I already sadly established that there is no bail in this legal system. Although Oblin have Oblin have the parole, and they have a treaty granting that Oblins get parole.
Dear Diary, today we broke out of prison, which was very good because I really needed to feed my cat. And my cat found me, so I gave her some fish and some old oud food, and she was very happy. I was really glad to check in on her, but unfortunately I didn't get to see the stars. It was great to be outside, and then we went back on the inside for a while, and then we woke up this morning and everything was okay. I keep telling Hank, just don't worry, everything will be okay. I he's beginning to learn that, there's a peaceful solution often. And if you care about others and just do your best, things will all work out. I really think he's beginning to believe that, because you know what? He apologized to the guy whose head he repeatedly slammed against the bars when we were breaking out of prison. It was really big of him. I was really proud of him. I think it's going to be a great day.
There's something wrong with Gentle Miss Anderson. I went to peacefully discuss this whole situation with her, and without any discussion whatsoever, she just attacked me with magic. She's not a mage. It really hurt. She's very powerful. I don't think this is General Miss Anderson. I think this is an imposter. How or why, I have no idea, but I'd like to get to the bottom of this. This is not right.
No, Hank, don't, wait!
Huh. I guess I never told you guys about Stacia before, but she was a friend. She was the only friendly thing that we found down in the bottom of the world's wound. But she was a funny sort of friend. She always changed her shape. Sometimes she looked like a little flying pixie, kind of like Rip Roar, except pretty. And sometimes she looked like a goblin, except pretty. And sometimes she looked like an oblin, except pretty. And she was always really pretty. She had a trick for that. But she never looked the same way twice. I always wished I knew what she really looked like. Sometimes I thought that she looked the way she looked when I first saw her in that cage. 'Cause we couldn't get out. We were sick, but it didn't kill us. Maybe it can't kill Oblin, which maybe every Oblin that went on detached duty because he was sick did it for nothing, because we were down there for years and never got sick. It all faded away. Like, you see my finger, I can't even tell that it was ever there. And when we learned that they had prisoners, we knew that we had to do something, because we couldn't get out, we couldn't get up those walls.
Well, at least the Oblin are civilized. The Oblin Elder heard our case and was properly incensed, and offered us guards to safely escort us back to prison. So everything worked out in the end. And then once we were back in prison, word came round that we were free from prison. So I think that's that. Every loose end is all nicely wrapped up. Well, sort of. We have to go and find the box again.